What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I have three stories that I want to talk about today. The first story I want to talk about gas prices. Okay, so we're going to go over gas prices. I also want to talk about student loans. It looks like President Biden they say the coming days. So we don't know if it's going to be this week, next week, but he is going to address this debt cancellation. So I want to talk a little bit about where people are when it comes to how much money they owe in student loan debt. And then I also want to talk about this particular state that is talking about a $2,000 stimulus check. Okay, it's just in the talks right now. They have not moved forward, but or I shouldn't even say they haven't moved forward. They've moved forward, but there's some roadblocks that they're going to have to get past. So we're going to talk about that. But first off, on this channel, we talk about money and the financial struggles that Americans are facing today. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the first story here. And I want to talk about gas prices. Like I said, we're going to continue to talk about gas prices because this is a big deal. This is a huge deal. And this, I mean, we're looking at inflation. We're looking at supply chain shortages and all this stuff that we're looking at that's going on. A lot of it does have to do with gas. Okay, so, and I did a video yesterday. I talked about diesel fuel. So if you didn't check that video out, check it out because it's an eye opener when it comes to the trucking industry and how they're bringing the products to us. And we could be in a situation where some truckers, they might just say, you know what, I'm not working because diesel fuel is too expensive. So let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers. And this is up to date as of yesterday. So looking right here, we're at $4.61. Okay, now you might be asking, well, where were we before then? If you look at the information here, $4.61 here. Yesterday it was $4.60, and then a week ago it was $4.59. So that's regular gas. Now, when we start looking at diesel, which is something that I think we should all be focused on, like when I did the video yesterday, I hopefully if you watch that video, you'll understand the importance of diesel fuel, and if it's going up, it's really going to affect us. So diesel fuel, we're looking at $5.52. The good news about diesel fuel is yesterday it was $5.52, and last week it was $5.56. So the good thing is it's going down. It's not drastically going down, but it is going down somewhat. Okay, so we're looking at what, 4 cents difference there. So let's hope that trend continues and we continue to see diesel gas or diesel fuel go down, because just look, I mean, if you compare, and this is the average, this is average. Okay. So if you compare that average to regular gas, I mean, we're looking at, it's $5.50, $5.52, and regular gasoline is $4.61. So you see a huge difference there. And that means that all the trucks that are bringing these products to us, they have to pay more for gas. If they have to pay more for gas, then guess what? They're going to pass that cost on to the stores, and then the stores are going to pass that cost on to us. And so we'll end up paying more in grocery stores and just buying products in general. Okay, so let's look at the largest weekly increases. Okay, so largest weekly increases, we have 10 states here, and we're looking at Iowa 10 cents. We're looking at Idaho 9 cents. We're looking at Colorado 9 cents. Arizona up 8 cents. Florida 8 cents. Minnesota 7 cents. Hawaii 7 cents. Kansas 7 cents. North Dakota 7 cents, and Oklahoma 6 cents. So that's what we're looking at. So those are the weekly increases that we're seeing. And I notice you guys are probably not seeing the whole screen. So let me make it a little bit smaller there for you. So there you can see the whole screen. Now, I want to talk about student loans too. Now let's get into this. When it comes to student loans, and I think if you guys watch my videos, I posted a few videos about student loan debt. And so you probably know how I feel about this. I had student loan debt. I paid off my student loan debt. It was about $30,000 when I graduated from college, and I was able to pay it off. I couldn't pay it off right away. It took me some time, but I was able to get it done. So now what we're looking at is President Biden. He he is considering doing an executive order, and it's pretty much he's going to do an executive order. The way that they're putting this out there now, we had questions before because President Biden wasn't really clear about, or I'll just say the White House wasn't clear about how they were going to move when it came to student loan cancellation. And so now the White House has indicated that they will have a big announcement, and that announcement will be coming sometime in the future, sometime in the near future is what they're saying. So as I stated earlier, we don't know if it's going to be this week, next week, the week after, but we're anticipating that we'll see some type of loan cancellation, maybe 10,000. I think that's kind of the number where I don't want to say they're comfortable, but President Biden made that pledge of 10,000, and then you had progressive Democrats saying, "Look, we want 50,000," but he's already indicated, and the White House has already indicated they're not doing 50,000. So it'll be somewhere between 50,000 and 10,000. I think 10,000 is probably going to be where they go with this, and I'll show you the reason why. I have a little graph that I want to show you, but I did get a comment from one of our viewers, and this is Red X, and he or she is saying that my student loan debt is $100,000, okay, $100,000, and I didn't finish college. Now, this is a problem, okay? This is a huge problem because he's not the only person, or she's not the only person that's in this situation. You have a lot of people who took on student loan debt, and guess what? They didn't even graduate, okay? So not only are you taking on all this debt, but you didn't graduate, so you can't really use that. You don't have a degree to use for employment. So I'm really torn when it comes to this whole topic because I paid off my student loan debt, and there are a lot of people out there that went ahead and paid off their student loan debt. I don't know if that's really fair for this cancellation to happen. Okay. And not only people who have paid off student loan debt, but what about people who are struggling right now and they're in debt $10,000? I mean, it's the same situation, right? I think the problem lies with the schools. The schools are charging way too much for an education, and that's the bottom line. And that's why these students are taking on all this debt, because they don't have an option. You're telling them, you know what, you need higher education to make more money in the workforce. So you're telling them they have to go to college, and then when they get to college, now they have to pay for college. They don't have the money to pay for college up front, and so they get these student loans. And the colleges know that they're getting these student loans, so guess what? They'll just hike those prices up and continue gouging us with these prices, and you have to pay it. And so, and then we know how things go. Student loans, just loans in general, you're thinking, okay, well, I can pay it over time. It's not going to be as bad as I might think. And then before you know it, you're at $100,000, right? So I want to take a look at, and I want to actually, before I do this, now this is Laura Ingram. She's on Fox News, and it was funny because she posted this, and this was a while ago. This was in April. Okay, I found it pretty amusing, and you guys just let me know how you guys feel about what she's saying here. Okay, so she says, my mom worked as a waitress until she was 73. Keyword there, 73. To help pay for our college, even helped with loan repayment. And so her mom even helped with repaying the loan back, okay? And then she goes on to say, loan forgiveness, just another insult for those who play by the rules. So this is Laura Ingram saying this. And I mean, I don't know if how you guys feel about this, but there's some keys to this tweet that I think are really telling. Okay, now she's talking about her mom working. Now, why weren't you working, or why weren't you in a situation where you didn't allow your mom to take on any student loan debt? Because what she's saying here is her mom worked until she was 73. That's nothing to brag about. I wouldn't feel good if I went to college and my mom had to work until she was 73 in order to help me pay off my college debt. I wouldn't feel good about that. Okay. And then right here, she's saying that her mom helped repay the debt. It's not something to brag about. And that's I mean, this is someone that has no idea what it means to take on that debt on her own and have to pay it off on her own. That's the big problem. Okay, the schools are charging too much money, and then you take on this debt, and when you graduate college, now you're looking for a job, and you're thinking, in my case, I was thinking, wow, I have $30,000 and I'm $30,000 in debt already. and I just got out of college and I'm struggling to find a job. And usually the way it happens is when you graduate college, you don't have any experience. So I didn't have any experience. So now I'm struggling trying to find a job. And a lot of the jobs are telling me, oh, it's good that you have a degree, but you don't have any experience. So why don't you get some experience and then come back to us? And so I was lucky to find the job that I did when I did. And I pretty much stayed there until I retired. So it's very, very, I mean, when you look at this tweet, it's just like, okay, you don't even understand what the American people are doing right now and struggling to pay off debt and stuff like that. So, yeah, I just wanted to show that. But another thing, too, when it comes to student loan debt, and I kind of alluded to this earlier, people have debt. Okay, now it's not just student loan debt. You have a lot of people who are in debt right now. Are you going to try to help other people, or are you just going to help people that have student loan debt? And I think it's, you know, if you do go this route and you wipe out $10,000, then maybe there needs to be some consideration. Now, that would take more. The reason that this is kind of an easy move for the president is because an executive order would take care of this. But if it's personal debt, it's a whole different story. Now you're going to have to go through Congress. We know how that works. You're going to have to go through Congress and see if Congress can agree on some type of a bill to waive some type of other debt, okay? Because even student loan debt, we're talking about federal student loans. We're not talking about any private loans that we're taking out for school. So that's another issue. But I just think in a situation like this, you want to get to the point where if you do this, you should be helping other people as well, okay? People who didn't go to college and people who have debt, maybe have some type of a tax incentive or like some type of a tax credit or something for those people. Okay. I wanted to look at this because the person, the viewer had that $100,000 debt, right? And so I started thinking, what are we looking at? What's the breakdown when it comes to debt, when it comes to student loan debt? And so I found this very, very interesting. And when we look here, most student debt is large loans, but most borrowers have small loans. Okay. And that kind of sounds weird, but it explains it here. So basically what we're looking at, and so about 13% of federal debt is held in loans with $20,000 or less still owed. Okay. So basically, when we look at the breakdown here, we have 5% is about 10,000. Okay. So if the president were to get to a point where he said, okay, 10,000, I'm going to wipe out 10,000, that's going to affect 5%. Okay. And then you have another 8% that's between 10,000 and 20,000. And then you have 17% that's between 20,000 and 40,000. And then 32% is between 40,000 and 100,000. 38% is between 100,000 plus. Okay. And so when we're looking at the breakdown, when it comes to actual people, and I said it affects, I shouldn't have said it affects 5%. It doesn't affect 5% of the people. It actually affects more, but it's 5% of student loan debt. Okay. So 5% of student loan debt is 10,000 or less. So when we're looking at individuals, so let's look at the breakdown here. It says 53% of borrowers owe less than 20,000. Okay. So 33% of borrowers are at that 10,000 or less. So if President Biden were to knock out 10,000, it's going to affect about 33%. Okay, so that's the number there. It's not 5%, it's 33%. Now, 20%, they're in between this 10,000 to 20,000. Okay. Now, 21%, they're in the neighborhood of 20,000 to 40,000. That's where I was when I finished college. And then you have 8%. They're 40,000 to 100,000, and then 7% is 100,000 plus. So that's what we're looking at when it comes to the breakdown. So you can kind of see where the president is going with this if he does 10,000. Basically, what he's looking at is the largest group. So the largest group would be right here, and he can knock out the largest group if he does it, because that's 33%. And then the rest of the groups obviously will benefit from $10,000 less that they have to pay back, but they're still going to have student loan debt. Okay, so that's pretty much the breakdown, and that's what I think they're looking at. The White House is looking at, and you better believe they're looking at the numbers, and they're trying to figure out, okay, where are we going to get them? I don't want to say it like where are we going to get the most bang for our buck, basically. So if they look at a situation where they can do 33% of the people who have student loan debt, wipe that out, that's good, right? Now they can even go a step further, and why not go for 53%, right? Why not go for this whole area here? So 20,000, they can go with 20,000. So that could be something they consider as well. So we'll have to see what they do. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks. I know they're saying, oh, it's coming soon, but I really have no faith in the government when they say something's coming soon. It can be it could be tomorrow, or it could be in August. We don't know. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is the Pennsylvania, the situation in Pennsylvania, and that's the state that's talking about a $2,000 stimulus check. Okay, now this is still in the works. Now they do have legislation that they're trying to move forward, and this is the $2,000 stimulus check they're talking about. And I stated this. I talked about. There's a lot of money from the COVID relief. Okay, so the last stimulus package that went through in March of 2021, there's still money, and these states have this money, and they need to spend this money before 2024. So they have a little bit of time, but a lot of states are looking at this, and this is the perfect opportunity to actually use this money because people are struggling with inflation and all the other things that are going on. And so that's what we're looking at right now, and that's what we're looking at here. So you have Governor Wolf. He's saying, "Look, we want to offer $2,000 stimulus checks to our residents, and they're looking at 80,000 or less, and so that's and it's a household of 80,000 or less. Okay, so that's who they're targeting. So it'll be a smaller target there. So you're looking at 40,000 individuals that make 40,000 or less." And it looks like what they're going to do, and I haven't looked at the complete bill, and this is one of those things where it hasn't moved. It's held up right now, okay? It's held up in the assembly because some Republicans are against this in the assembly, so they're holding this up. They're not moving forward with it. So I guess they're going to continue to discuss this and debate it. I don't know. Republicans do have control of the assembly, so because of that, they can hold it up indefinitely. It might not ever happen, but it is something that the governor is talking about. The governor is a Democrat, and he is wanting to move forward with this $2,000, up to $2,000 for a stimulus check. Okay, so that's a big number. We don't normally see that high of a number. We've seen different rebates and things go out in other states, and it hasn't been that high. So that's good that Pennsylvania's trying to move forward with something, but as of right now, we don't know where that's going to go. And another thing, too, I want to do talk a little bit about California, because California is talking about this rebate, this $400 per vehicle, and that's being held up as well. Okay, and the reason that they're holding that up, there are a variety of different reasons, but one of the main reasons is you have progressive Democrats that want to wipe out the whole, because basically what Gavin Newsom wants is he wants $400 per vehicle, maximum 2 vehicles. So if you have a household of 2 vehicles, you get $800. What the progressive Democrats want to do is they want to take the whole vehicle thing out. They don't want to have it tied to vehicles. They just want to give out $400 to every taxpayer, or I don't know. They might work it a different way so it's not every taxpayer. I don't know exactly what the alternative legislation looks like. But what Gavin Newsom wants to do is he wants to do per vehicle. And he's pretty strong on this. He's not giving on this because they did offer stimulus checks to every individual. Okay, it was targeted stimulus checks, but they did offer stimulus checks, and so because of that, that's why he wants to do this whole rebate, this gas rebate or whatever you want to call it, $400 per vehicle. That's why he wants it tied to vehicles, because he wants to kind of spread the money around a little bit. So. That's what they're looking at in California. But right now, I mean, they're going back and forth. Eventually, they'll come to some type of resolution, but they're still talking that it might not happen until late summer. And there are also other issues with how are we going to distribute it. Gavin Newsom, he wanted to do it by vehicle. If you do it by vehicle, it's a lot easier because you can tie it to the DMV. We all have to register our vehicles, and then they'll know exactly where to send the money. But you have other politicians that want to tie it to the franchise tax board. So right now in California, things are going to be on hold, and it'll be indefinite, just kind of like what Pennsylvania is doing. So it's funny that these states have money, but now they're fighting over how to spend the money, right? And I guess that's always the case. You have two sides usually, and they're going to fight over how to best utilize the money. But it's tax dollars. We should be getting that money. If it's tax dollars, it should be coming to us. Okay, so that's all I have for this video. Thank you guys all for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Please hit the like button on your way out. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.